Passing down a billion-dollar fortune usually comes with a massive financial hurdle, an inheritance tax bill that can slice a family's wealth right down the middle. For the average person, those taxes are completely unavoidable, but the ultra-wealthy have engineered an entirely legal escape route, exploiting laws that were originally written to protect family farms and wildlife. The most effective tools for modern elite tax evasion are the actual physical landscapes we walk on every single day. But how does buying a patch of dirt, a commercial forest, or even a massive amusement park erase hundreds of millions in tax liabilities? And what happens to the surrounding communities when nature becomes a financial loophole? Right now, in 2026, a crisis is unfolding on the border of England and Scotland at a place called Todrig Farm. Private equity firms and billionaires are aggressively buying up massive plots of rural land. This flowchart shows exactly why they are doing it. Under a provision in the UK tax code called business property relief, hold commercial timber for 2 years and you bypass the standard 40% inheritance tax. Your wealth stays intact. This incentive causes land values to explode, skyrocketing properties to 6 times their original price in 3 years. But to legally qualify for this massive tax break, landowners cannot leave the wild landscape alone. They have to plant fast-growing, highly commercial monocultures, like the Sitka spruce you see here. Planting these incredibly dense trees chokes out the surrounding natural grasslands. That directly threatens vulnerable species, like the northern brown Argus butterfly, whose native habitat is paved over by commercial timber. The UK tax code has weaponized ecological preservation. It has turned rural Scotland into a profit-driven corporate monopoly, destroying local biodiversity and pricing everyday residents out of their own communities. To see how effective this strategy is across generations, we have to look back to 1970s South Korea. Conglomerate founder Lee Byung-chul began constructing a massive rural amusement park called Yongin Farmland, known today as Everland. Lee laid the groundwork by utilizing a public interest exemption. He officially donated his private estate to his own philanthropic organization, the Samsung Foundation. The foundation absorbed the tax burden, while Lee simply rented the mansion back at a fraction of the cost to continue living there. Then came the land acquisition. This map illustrates how Lee quietly purchased millions of square meters of surrounding mountains at rock-bottom prices. To avoid scrutiny, he used the borrowed names of local officials, framing the aggressive expansion as a necessary project for national industry. Right before the government tightened its tax regulations, 1.7 million pyong of this land was transferred directly to his heir, Lee Kun-hee. By routing the wealth through these holdings, the family completely bypassed standard inheritance taxes. The fallout from that single maneuver lasted for decades. It sparked massive public controversy, triggered a high-profile exposé, and caused intense legal battles over the land's true valuation during the 2021 Samsung inheritance proceedings. Whether it's 1970s Korea or 2026 Scotland, the playbook remains identical. The ultra-wealthy use the government's own public interest and agricultural exemptions as a shield to secure their dynasties. Governments create these tax exemptions with genuinely good intentions, like encouraging cultural foundations or boosting domestic timber production. But the system leaves the door wide open for the world's richest families to systematically exploit those rules. When nature is incentivized strictly as a mechanism for wealth preservation, society suffers a massive triple loss. Governments are starved of vital tax revenue. Local communities lose control over their own land, and fragile, living ecosystems are bulldozed to make way for sterile financial assets. It completely shifts how we should view the sprawling private landscapes, botanical gardens, and corporate theme parks that border our cities. The next time you see a sprawling commercial forest or a massive corporate estate, you are walking directly through a billionaire's tax haven disguised as nature.